I am reading Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo. I only just finished the first chapter. I am at page 27, about to start chapter 2. Although I'm just like one chapter in, I just wanted to talk about it a little bit. Nothing much has happened. Like, we just got introduced to some characters. With reading this first chapter, I don't know. I'm being a little critical of her writing style, how she writes. I feel like how she lays out an action or a scene, I'm finding myself kind of editing it. Like, we could have wrote it this way instead so we can convey the action without making it seem like we are going forward and then we have to backtrack to kind of explain something. Like, I don't know. For instance, just an example, that was just my edit, but it's not that serious. This is on page 14. This is Alina in an interaction with Mal. I turned to give him a punch, but before I could, he'd grabbed hold of me and lifted me off my feet. A clatter of hooves and shouts split the air. Mal yanked me to the side of the road just as a huge black coach roared past, scattering people before it as they ran to avoid the pounding hooves of 4 black horses. It could have been, I turned to give him a punch, but before I could, he'd grabbed hold of me and lifted me off my feet, yanking me to the side of the road. Then it could have gone to a clatter of hooves and shouts split the air as a huge black coach roared past, scattering people before it as they ran to avoid the pounding hooves of 4 black coaches. Like, I don't know, it's just me. Like, that just felt like it flowed better. But that's just me being critical. I still kind of understood what happened, but I was just still like, we could have written that better. So far, I'm just like feeling a little bit critical of how she writes, because I feel like sometimes sentences are a bit too long and just kind of like, not that they're run-on sentences, but it's just like, and it doesn't need to be broken up so much. I don't know, maybe it's because I just came off of The Kite Runner and I felt like it's like he uses words efficiently but still beautifully, and I feel like in some of these sentences they're trying to be beautiful but also not efficient enough. They're just not being beautiful and efficient at the same time. They're trying to do the two things, but they're just not sharpening that up enough to make it like pop and to just kind of flow effortlessly. Maybe I'm just being too critical at like, because The Kite Runner, oh my gosh, the writing and The Kite Runner is so good. But seriously, I'm excited about seeing where the story goes. Although I'm being critical of the writing, I'm just excited to see the adventure of the story, because I feel like with everybody's hype up about Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdoms, I'm just like, I'm having good thoughts and good feelings, good vibes about reading the Shadow and Bone trilogy. Like, I feel like it's gonna be good, because everybody says that like Ruin and Rising, like they love that book out of the trilogy. I feel like I'll enjoy Shadow and Bone because to be honest, I'm not always that hard to please. It may seem like I'm hard to please because I'm being so critical of the writing, but no, like, I read the entire Gossip Girl series, like the book, not even just the show, the entire book series, and I enjoyed it. Yeah, I enjoyed most of it. I don't know, it was a while ago, but I enjoyed all of it. I read all of it. I mean, I still have all of it. So, I'm not that hard to please. I'm really not that hard to please. So I feel like Shadow and Bone will not be a huge letdown for me. It's not gonna be like, I tend to try to find good and stuff. I'm just getting to know the characters. I'm still getting to know the world, and this plot, it's about to be chapter 2, so I'm guessing this plot is about to kick into gear and like drama is going to ensue, and I'm looking forward to it. This is my second progress report of Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo. I'm 127 pages in to Shadow and Bone, and so far I'm enjoying it. It's like, I'm kind of almost, I'm enjoying the world building, I'm enjoying the action. I don't feel like I've connected with too many of the characters. I've made like a real connection with them. I've only just been like very, 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 very physically attracted to Ivan and Sergei, and that's where I'm at. And I'm okay with that. I'm great with that. I love that. I enjoy that. I almost want more of that. I'm cool with that, you know? The full swing of the story kind of hasn't happened yet. It's just a lot of like, we're getting acquainted with the characters, we're getting acquainted with the world, and I'm enjoying the world building. I think that's like really a big part of it for me. I'm just loving the world building, and that is something I heard before I went into this, to reading this, because I really, really, really wanted to read The Six of Crows, because I kept hearing people talk, like, what, 2 years ago, people were like talking about like, oh my gosh, Six of Crows is so good, and then Cricket Kingdoms came out and it was like, it's so good, it's so good. And I'm just like, I really, really want to read it. And then people were like talking about like, you know, you can read the Grisha trilogy too, but it's not really that good. Like, Leigh Bardugo gets better by the duology. She's not really like, it's still a little like not that great in the trilogy, but it's worth reading for the world building, and the world building is definitely not disappointing, and I appreciate that because I'm like, I'm getting like really caught up in this world. I'm just like, yo, I like this world. I like this world. It's fun. It's cool. It's fun. It's a little primitive, but it's whatever, girl. I am getting into it. It's very like rich and like luscious, and I'm loving it. We just got introduced to this library and how like Leigh Bardugo just like described that library. I'm just like, girl, I'm guessing that this is like your dream library situation, because it's so cute. Like how you just got like, girl, like fucking bitch, a skylight in a library, girl. Like come on sis, come on. I'm a come in there and read these cute little books or whatever. Like it's cute. It's not like it's like mad chill. And it's like, you know, you got a skylight. Like, come on, a library with a skylight? Come on, girl. That's living. Like, and it sounds like so, like, the most serene place in the entire palace. Like, I'm here for it, girl. Although I'm being introduced to different characters and a lot of stuff is happening with characters, it's still, I'm not having too many strong feelings or opinions on any of the characters or the plot. Since the plot seems to be like, you know, it's not kicking into gear yet because we're just still like setting up characters and setting up people. Like there's a little bit of plot where there are where the action comes into play with attacks and stuff like that, but the plot's still just like, she's chilling on the sideline, she's chilling, you know, chilling, living her life. But so far where I'm in the book, I'm guessing that the plot will kind of kick in soon enough because we're getting deeper and deeper into the world, and I'm just like, I'm still just in love with the world. The world is just like, oh, I'm obsessed with it. I'm kind of loving it. But in the case of the characters, I still really haven't like connected with the characters so far. The only characters that I have connected with are, well, I wouldn't say I really connected with them. It's just that, you know, I think that Ivan and Sergei are like super hot. Like I think they're just very, very sexy. Like I don't know, the way that Leigh like described them, I'm just like, yo, like, I mean, choo choo train. No, but still, they found no, because it's like the way she's crying, I was like, because I mean, I do like a ruggedly handsome, muscular type, masculine type. Although like Leigh has described them as like assholes, or like in Ivan's case, he's more of like a handsome asshole. Like he just knows, you know, he's cocky, he knows he's hot. But also the same could be said for Sergei, that like he's just really cocky. He knows he's like the shit, and it's like not really my personality types, but it's like they sound hot though, so like they could hit it. That's it. They could hit it. Done. So far I'm enjoying them. The little I've seen of them, I've enjoyed them. Like when they came up on the page, I'm like, I lit up because I was like, damn Leigh, they're fine. Like they can hit me up or whatever, but you know. Ivan and Sergei, shout out to them. I don't know, I will have to see if there's like any, I don't know, fan art of them, if there's any fan fiction that like includes them, expands their story, gives some background. I don't know. Maybe some gay stuff too. That would be perfect. But besides that, Alina's cool. I haven't connected with her, but I am enjoying experiencing the world through her eyes. Just maybe despite her, because like not really like connecting to her personality. I'm just like enjoying experiencing this new world. Maybe if I read the book over a second time, where I'm like not just experiencing the world for the first time like Alina, I might connect more or have stronger feelings about Alina. I didn't feel anything for her. And I'm just like I'm just reading and enjoying the world. I've also realized something. I do love a good like sassy villainous woman, you know, a la what's her name? The oh gosh, the one from the Lunar Chronicles, homegirl from the moon. Her, what is it? Lavana. Oof. I think the queen of like the Grisha universe. Like she's giving me like Victorian age like monarchy and like this very like Queen of Versailles kind of attitude, like, you know, corsets and big dresses and sitting on fucking chaise lounges and being decadent and bitchy and like full of powder on your face with a big old wig. Like she's just been that. So it's like we have a new drag queen that I'm here for. Somebody very dramatic and very like intense and kind of a bitch, and I'm enjoying her. Well, that little bit that I've experienced of her, I'm enjoying. Besides that, Alina's crushing on Mal. Mal is all right. He's doing nothing for me. He's just there. I don't know. The few moments that I've experienced Mal, I'm just like, not in love. Don't really care that much. Like, I just haven't made the connection that, like, I just know that she's, like, crushing on him and she's so into him, and I'm just like, I don't get it, girl. I don't get it. Like, I mean, I guess you grew up with him all your life, so it makes sense, but it means nothing to me, and I don't really feel an attraction. I don't feel a reason to be attracted to him, even though he was protecting you. I just kind of felt like, oh, that's your bro. That's not really, like, potential bae. He's more bro than bae, so... But if she thinks he's bae, go for it, sis. We'll see how that pans out. I don't see it, though. The Darkling is mysterious and interesting, though. But also, he's not really doing much for me. He's giving me very, like, emo scene. He's just basically giving me the front man of AFI in the Miss Murder video. That's it. I'm just seeing, like, hey, Miss Murder, can I make beauty stay if I... Like, I don't know. I'm a little bit intrigued by him. Because I don't even think I feel like I've got, like, full-on descriptions of, like, the Darkling and Mal. Like, that to really be, like, enamored. I have no interest in them. Like, Mal is pretty white bread to me and kind of plain and boring and kind of generic. Overall, so far, the world building is fantastic. It's very immersive. I'm enjoying it. So far, I'm enjoying the library. I think the library is like my favorite place I've been, although I've only been there for a little bit. It's like my favorite place so far within like this world and reading the story. And not even just because it's like this bookish thing, it's just like Lee described it so well that I'm just like, yo, this is a cool place to be. Like, it's just the coolest place to be. It just feels like it's so serene. It's very well like aerated. Like there's just like, you know, it's not too cool, it's not too cold, it's not too hot. It's just like the right temperature. The light is just perfect. Everything is just so spacious, but not too like spacious. It's like it's everything. It's just, it smells great, it looks great. I don't know, I feel like this is like the way how Lee described it. I feel like this is her dream library concept for her. Like, yo, if I was to have a library, this is what my library is gonna be like. And I'm like, girl, I get it. I would come, like, visit your library, sis. Like, it's the bomb. It's poppin'. It's hot. So far, we are in a room with fabricators and materialki. So I will see what this room and these fabricators and materialki are all about. Because, like, I mean, Alina's gotten her uniform at this point, or her outfit, her Grisha thing. I'm hoping I enjoy the rest of what's going to go down, and it will be fun. I will be back. Okay, so I am done reading Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo. Things got juicier compared to like the beginning, because the beginning was like a slow start for me, and it was just like, I got a better idea of the Darkling. He's less of the AFI lead singer and more of a pale, chisel-jawed bad boy rocker. Like, I don't know, that's just what I was getting. He just got a little bit more refined to like, oh, I'm pale and I'm a bad boy and like, I don't know, I wear a leather jacket. I don't know, that's what I'm expecting when I actually see the actual like Grisha verse series. Things got steamy with Alina and the Darkling, and that moment was the only moment that, like, I'll say between characters, it still kind of excited me. Because besides that, any like romantic or any romantic, I don't know, anything was not really like stimulating. What really got me was I gasped and shook my head, unable to think. He had pushed me up against the door now, his hips hard against mine. And it's just that little, his hips hard against mine. I was just like, I can picture that. I can see that. I can feel that. And that was real to me. And what really brought it home was his hand slid down to my hip. I felt a little thrill of panic as my skirt slid higher and his fingers closed on my bare thigh. But instead of pulling away, I pushed closer to him. And I was just like, oh girl, I'm seeing it. I feel it. I get it. This is real. Like, I can, like, for me, Alina and the Darkling are pretty bland. I feel like somehow how this was written, that moment, how it was written, it makes that bland moment seem a little bit more I'm gonna say electrified, maybe a little bit more toasted, a little bit more, I don't know, warmed up, but you know, it did what it could with what it was. Now the confrontation with Alina and Mal, I don't know, I just felt like that kind of came out of nowhere for me, because like, I mean, he showed up or whatever, he was there at the party or whatever, and maybe him seeing Alina with, what's his name, with the Darkling, maybe he was just like now starting to like, he realized that he had feelings for Alina, but at the same time, I'm kind of like, that came out of nowhere. I don't know, I feel like that wasn't established. I mean, granted, Alina and Mal were like talking that night before he went to hook up in the tent or whatever, but at the same time, I was just like, even if like he was gonna go hook up with somebody else anyway, so I really like there was no chemistry for me. So for him to be jealous, I was just like, what you jealous for? Chill out. Like, she's like your sis. Like, what are you doing? Like, y'all are like bro and sis. Like, chill. Like, what's all this extra like feelings and we're all getting angsty and angry and running off and doing, like, nah girl, that's too much. And eventually when they kissed, that irritated me, that annoyed me, that had me over it, because I was just like, but y'all are like bro and sis, like this is weird, like why y'all trying to like hook up and kiss and stuff, that, like no, y'all can be doing that. My whole thing was how I felt like it should have gone is that Mal and Alina should have been like childhood friends. She should have had like feelings, pining for him, had feelings for him, but he wasn't seeing her like that. And he could have seen her like, oh, that's like my sis. That's like, she's like almost like my twin sister. We grew up together. Like, yo, that's who we are. And instead of them coming together and saying, I really like you, we like each other kind of thing, that should have been like, she should have been saying like, I really like you, or she should have come to that realization at that moment that like he didn't see her the same way she saw him, because they had enough time to like be around each other, and she realizes that, hey, he doesn't really see me like that. He only treats me like I'm his sister. I'm to be like his sister that he protects or whatever, and that's it. And that's where it should have been, and she should have came to that realization, while also realizing at the same time that, yo, this other guy that was new and mysterious in my life, I realized that like, yo, he betrayed me and was only using me for what I could do. And I felt like those two scenarios together happening to Alina were far more realistic. They made the story a lot more real. It would have made her romantic subplot a lot more realistic, because that's what it is. That's the reality. Sometimes you don't always get the person that you want to be with, and sometimes the person that you hook up with is only just using you. So then it all comes down to like, some men are trash and some men just don't want you, and that's it. and she could, and being that there are like two other books, she could always eventually meet somebody else along the way. But at the end of the day, I preferred that she and Mal not get together, and it was just her just trying to survive, just trying to be the sun summoner and all that stuff, and just realizing that okay, these romantic relationships, they didn't work out, and I'm gonna focus on me. And while she's focusing on herself, then she could find someone who she really should be with. Like, I think that would have worked so much better. I would have liked to have read that more than what I read. Like, I enjoyed what I read, but at the same time, I'm like, I would have liked Alina to like just not. It should have just been like she should just had a stronger brother sister bond with Mal at the end of the book than what happened. That's just me. That's just me. But it's what it is. And also the kiss between Alina and the Darkling, when it initially happened, like right outside of Bagra's, I don't know, cottage, I didn't get like, cause the kiss happened so suddenly, and it almost seemed like the Darkling was like under a spell as to why he kissed her. And I was just like, what is going on? Why did he just suddenly kiss her? She doesn't even understand what's going on. And I felt like, okay, that needs to be explained. And I'm so glad that that got explained, because I was just like, that was looking crazy. If that was never explained, that would have just been looking crazy in a book. In the end, I pretty much enjoyed it. I appreciated picturesque world building, fun, like expansive world building, and an action-packed ride. There was a lot of action to keep me entertained, keep things interesting and on their toes. Like, I love the story for that. I enjoyed the action-packed climax and just like that very satisfying conclusion to the story for now. I'm still really very much looking forward to the Netflix series, because it's got to be good. Like, I'm expecting it to be good. I am looking forward to the next book and seeing where it goes and what happens to everybody in the story that I've read so far, and seeing who stays and who goes, and who lives and who dies. I just want to see more of that. And that's it.